Hello and welcome back to the List Report. I'm your host, Ben Sugarman. Today I'm joined with my lovely cast. Of course, we got Miss Miranda.
Hello, hello.
And we got Ringo, the Trash Knight himself.
What up?
Hope everyone had a good holiday. I don't know about everyone else, but I'm stuck in a turkey coma and I'm about to puke and shit 5 pounds all at the same time.
That's a
Sounds
lovely visual.
That's what I'm here for. That's why it's a podcast. No visuals needed. So as we're getting out of this little holiday lag here, figured we'd have a little fun this week. We got a fun weekend planned this weekend. Going to be December 2nd and 3rd. We
Nope.
got first and second.
Nope.
What's this
November
weekend?
30th, December 1st, Western Conference Championship in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
All right, Friday, Saturday. Like I said, holiday
You're
lag.
forgiven your food coma.
Oh, why? Thank you. I wish I could blame it on that. So we got it in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Going to be excited to see the turnout for this. Miranda, you have the registration, so you can give us a little rundown of what exactly we should be expecting going into this one.
Yeah, we've had some late registrants come in, so we've got almost 40 registered for the men's fives. We have 6 women registered, so it looks like we will have a 3v3 women's match. Really heavy in the singles. We've got 14 longsword, 15 sword and shield, 6 polearm, and 9 sword and buckler.
Okay,
So, It's
awesome.
going to be 2 full days of fighting. We're doing seating on Friday. Try and get as many people in as we can. Try to get as much fighting in as possible. And then championship matches will be on Saturday.
Perfect. I excited to see some more of the singles action. Saw a lot of really good progress on some of the singles that we saw at Eastern Conference. So I'm excited to see what Western Conference is going to hold. Of the people who have registered, do you see any from Eastern Conference that are making their way to Westerns as well, and some early kind of favorites you see going into it?
We have a really heavy Toll Thunder registration. So a lot of those guys were able to make it to East Coast. Obviously, it's in the Tulsa Tyrants' hometown. So we've got a ton of those guys. We got a heavy Marshals contingency coming in. We've got 7 registered. So there will be some of those that fought singles and melees fighting again. We've got a pretty nice looking group from the West. We've got 7 coming from the Grizzlies. So far, we've got 5 coming from the Desert Demons. And then we have 3 of you. Oh, what? Sloan's not going to make it. So there's 2 from the Executioners that are coming. Jay will be the only repeat because Ringo didn't make it to East. Iron Horde, Doombringers, Ravens. We've got some planes, 8 planes registered.
Okay,
gonna be
awesome.
good.
Yeah, it's great to see. Really looking forward to seeing some of that footage once it comes back. Unfortunately, once again, Uncle Sam's got the weenie right up in me, so can't be make it out. But best of luck to everyone that shows up to Western Conference in Tulsa. And it's great to see a lot of the southern, that toll region, really great travelers. So it's awesome to see a lot more people starting to travel for some of these events, and hopefully we can get to a point where we can see a lot more start to travel once we get a little money rolling into the league, maybe help supplement some of that travel costs.
I will say Dallas has really put in the work this year specifically to they have been at every event they could get their hands on. And driving from Texas is not easy. You can drive an entire day and still be in Texas. I have to commend them. They've done a bang up job of making it out to the tournaments.
Awesome. Well, I wish everyone safe fighting. I don't want to hear anyone get injured, but really excited to see some of the footage that comes out of it. A lot of great singles action going on. Going to be some melees in there too. You have is the sort of split up into teams yet, or you kind of have an early picture of what the teams are going to look like?
It's looking like regionals will be able to carry their own. Plains will, Pacific Grizzlies will, Demons will probably supplement with either some Midwest or the Northwest, and then Toal, the Toal region has 20 registered, so I'm not sure how they're going to split up those teams, whether it's going to be Marshals and Tyrants representing the same region. There's going to be some supplementing going on from the Executioners. They only have 2 registered. Wolfpack has 3 registered. Midwest, we got 2 coming from Chicago. So they'll murk out to some of these other teams, but it's looking like we're going to have a really good, strong regional representation. 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially 5 regions represented.
All right, there you go. So, got some good melee to look forward to, some singles coming your way. Very excited to see that. But also, some things that happened this past weekend. Up north in the Knights Hall, we had the Monarchs and the Dark Knights fight it out. Saw some of the footage from that. That looked like, anytime the Knights Hall puts on a chapter match, you talk about brutal. You guys brutalize each other to no end. But grueling match, 11-8 goes to the Monarchs. Ringo, you want to talk about some of the good things you saw at that match last weekend?
Yeah, it was a crazy fight. We haven't had a 20-round match in like a year, so it harkens back to some of the older days. These are always fucking rough. It was great. It was the first time we've done it and had 2 full lines, so we actually got some subs. People stayed fresh. We didn't have the attrition rate we normally did. We only broke 1 fighter for the night. That was good. We weren't retiring folks like we normally do. So, crazy fights. Cat was on another level. A bunch of the newer guys were stepping up. Brian, I think, cements himself like always as one of the best in the league. He had like 3 or 4 2-on-1s where it was just him taking on Cat and another guy and pulling himself through, and that was a crazy fight. A lot of heavy axe swinging, some good damage shots if that's your thing. There's I shared a bunch of videos that Brandon put up. Our boy Ken took, so
yeah.
It was a good
Go
night.
figure. Hard-hitting shots from the Executioners.
Yeah. We used our light axes. We used our light axes. We wanted to be nice to each other. We didn't want to retire anybody. Cat was firing, throwing. There's a shot there in like the 5th round where I'm throwing falchion shots into Julie's leg, and Cat's going at the exact same pace into Greg's head. It's which was ridiculous. Couple of 2 or 3 shot drops from Brian. I think I had one. Brandon had a couple. He almost made me puke in the 1st round. But yeah, it's a great fight. A lot of good footage up there. Yeah, like I said, 11-8 is and 1 tie. So it was it was as close as it's ever been. Dark Knights were looking strong, and they were looking strong, missing their old captain Lane Atteridge, who he stepped down this year, but still one of their strongest fighters, and he wasn't able to make it.
Right.
They still fucking made us fucking work. So
right. And on the topic of new guys, because I know at the Knights Hall you guys get a lot of new guys. There's a kind of, I won't say constant rotation, but you see a lot more new people start to be rotated, and you can see, especially from the Dark Knights at New World Cup, they didn't make the Executioners, but it's by no means a B team traditionally. So, what's kind of the philosophy or some of the things you say to some of the newer fighters, like right before the match, like kind of your marching orders, be like, okay, just get this done, and this is what I want to see out of my new fighters.
So we have a philosophy at the hall that basically the key to fighting is not falling down. It's super simple, but like a lot of people, like all they want to do is go out there, fucking tie up, swing hard, And our thing is more about like, no, as long as you're up, you can make it work. So the first thing we tell, like one of our guys, Maestro Morte, he goes, that's what he goes by online. He's Josh, I don't know his last name. He comes up to me and he's like, Ringo, what do I need to do? And I just later I'm like, just stay on your feet. He's like, well, how would I do? Like, where should I move? I'm like, no, stop, stay on your feet. Literally anything else is a positive, but I don't care. All I need you to do is not fall the fuck down, and then we're winning. So that's the number one thing we tell our new guys. Get out there, survive, and kind of if you can survive in that fucking pit, then that's enough, and you'll be around enough that when you start fighting other fighters, you can start putting together the offense, and that all starts like clicking, kind of like Karate Kid style, where we have you working all this shit in the off that you don't see, and then all of a sudden you're fucking swan kicking people in the face. So.
Right. Yeah, I remember that was old Rhino saying back a few years ago when we were heading up the Rhinos, the whole team was new. I remember Ray looking to us and saying, hey Ray, what tactic should we do? He's like, look, just don't be a bitch. I'm like, well, all right then. And we didn't be a bitch. We just charged. It worked out.
That's our thing, right? So first thing you tell, that's all we were telling our new guys, and like you can sort of see the stratification that sort of happens there. The Monarchs, we had our A line, which was me, Brian, Greg. The Dark Knights had Kat, Brandon, Mike, but then after that, you start to see it drop off, and you can kind of see the guys who all they're doing is standing up. And then the people who are in between, who are starting to put some moves together, but really they don't quite have it yet. And that's sort of that second level. And at that point, you work on a different thing depending on who it is.
Right.
Like we've worked through a bunch of different stuff with Gary, trying to find out what his best offensive weapon could be. Mike, he had to we needed him up in his swings. And that was his big challenge, which he did. He was swinging a lot more. Same with Gavin. He was on the Dark Knights. That's one of the big things we wanted to see from him. But it depends on who it is. Some people we want you to grapple more. Other people we want you to grapple less. Some people we want you checking. Some people we want you moving. So once you get to that second level, that's when we start dialing it in. But that first step is stay on your fucking feet. That's all you gotta do.
Too simple. Don't overthink it. Just go out there and stay alive.
Oh.
But also want to talk about Jay was posting statuses. The IMCF, I guess they're called the league. I don't know exactly the right word for them, but some of the more admin figureheads got together for IMCF. They met in Ukraine, and they had a big discussion about this next year's national, or I guess international tournament. So some things coming out of that. Everything looks like it's good to go. There was talks of 200 on 200 at some point for the all-in-alls, which that's going to be... Talk about chaos. God damn.
Dude, I don't know. Someone's going to die.
Yeah. Yeah, 40 countries, 400 fighters. There's going to be at least a few deaths. All I can say is get your Simon strap ready.
Yeah, right.
So some things that came out, this is all still developing, still kind of doing some research on it myself, but the visa situation is getting a little kind of hairy with Ukraine. So if you are looking to go to Ukraine and you want to go to the international competition, make sure, I know the visas, we are still, I think it's visitors in 65 jurisdictions, including EU countries. North America, they don't require a visa to go to Ukraine if it doesn't exceed 90 days. That's at least what I've seen. So just the reason I say all this, make sure you do some research into it and don't just expect to buy the ticket and show up. Keep monitoring what's going on. But one of the things that come out of this that I'm curious to get your two takes on is someone asked, well, what would be the plan if kind of the political situation kind of crumbles in Ukraine and it's no longer somewhere we can really visit? So I guess I'll start with Miranda. What do you see the IMCF kind of maybe? I guess I'll make a backup plan, but you have any ideas what that possibly could look like?
Honestly, I don't. I've not been privy to any of these conversations. To my understanding, as of right now, there is no contingency set in place per the IMCF. I understand that the ACL will be working on a backup plan. That's about as limited knowledge as I have. I have no earthly clue. There's so much planning and logistics that goes into pulling together this international competition.
Right.
I mean, it's a year, if not more, in the making for each one. Like Benoit's already working on 2020 while they're still working on 2019. Like it's a lot of work and a lot of fingers and a lot of players in the game that all have a say in what's going on. And that's what this whole trip for Andre and Jay, that's their part of their annual planning trip to each hosting country. So it's boggling to me how or even if and when they would be able to set up a contingency, where it would be. I have no idea.
Well, then perfect. Since we're in speculation land, let's talk fantasies. Where would we like to have this event at?
Germany.
Germany. Okay. Any reason why particularly Germany?
I was born there and I was a baby when we left, and I would be much happier to buy a ticket to go to Germany than Ukraine.
Okay. Ringo, where you want to fight at?
Ukraine. Fuck it. So I wasn't even gonna go this year. I didn't go last year. I thought I was done international. And then I heard Ukraine, and like, how can you not fucking step into the fucking den with the fucking Lions, go to their fucking home turf and try to bring it? So if it gets moved, I don't know. I'm not going. Like,
all right, Ukraine or bust.
It's all about fucking going out there and fucking putting it on the line with, like, I mean, domestically, the best fighters are the Grizzlies and the First Swords. And I don't get to see the Grizzlies but like once a year, and I fight the First Swords all the time. But like going overseas, most of those guys can't even stack to them, let alone to the fucking what the Executioners can bring or shit. So like, I don't know, not to fucking boast on shit, but like the whole point of going was, hey, there's a country of dudes who can kick my whole team's ass, and my team is probably the best in the country. That's what I wanted. So I wanted to go there and like see what the fuck was up, see if we could hang, and you know, if it's not that, well, I don't know. I don't have any fucking interest. I don't have the money to fucking to do that shit.
I'm with you. And we're all kind of holding our breath on the election cycle. I know they got an election coming up. Just recently, I remember seeing I don't know how accurate this is, but you know, 3 Ukrainian ships were boarded and seized by Russians. So you know, yeah, things are kind of getting a little rough there. So we'll see how open their borders are going to be. You know, we're all hoping it stays in Ukraine. No one wants to see this get canceled.
Here's my thought on it. 2 years ago or whatever, we were talking about going to Mexico, and everyone was super psyched. And like in Mexico, those guys would literally siege hotels. And we were like, no, we'll be fine. Like, what? Do we really think the fucking Russians are going to come in and bomb a city for having a medieval festival? Like, I'm on it. Like, yeah, it's a war zone. Yeah, shit could pop off. But also my helm could pop off and I could just die in the fight. So, like, yeah. I don't know. We said, let's do it. Let's fucking do it.
Yeah. And for anyone that is kind of worried about, you know, catching some, like, stray shells that, you know, come off from one of the close by battlegrounds, I don't think you got to worry about that. That is nowhere. It should not be a concern of yours. The only thing that would shut this down I can see is if they, I think if, I can't remember if they're already in a state of martial law, but if they fully become martial law, they might shut down access to the country, and then that could be the thing that will shut down this event. So, we'll have to monitor it, and, everyone hopes it stays on, so we'll just have to keep a close eye on it. But I think that's kind of all we need to talk about with Ukraine, because at this point, it's speculation. We got to wait and see.
Yeah, nobody knows anything at this point.
Yeah, in the ACL, or just in anything. No one knows. So, I want to have a little fun this week because, like I said, most of us are still kind of coming down off the holidays. Couldn't really plan a whole lot. Kind of a little bit of a lull. So, we're going to get a little fucky. So, got an idea. My girlfriend was talking to me. I was talking to a friend of mine about possibly doing an event. We were going to do halftime at a roller derby. We would do some, put on either melee, some singles, or do something with it. We started joking around about what if we just stayed in armor and put on skates and started doing our own roller derby. So then the topic came up, well, fuck, what other sports can be made better by, just being armored up? So now we're going to go down that rabbit hole.
I would love to see some armored roller derby. That would be amazing.
I mean, all I'm saying is if there's like some smooth ground, in Salt Lake, and we just happen to have some skates, I might be down for that. But, yeah, so first off, roller derby. Let's dig into that one. So, obviously, because does anyone know the rules of roller derby?
Yeah, the point of roller derby is there's like a line, and you have to like get. There's like one person who is your scorer, and she has to break through your opponent's line basically, and every lap she gets or some shit like that is a point. So every time through, so they have to like. You basically like it's like sending your running back, only they don't have a ball, and instead of getting to the end zone, they just keep doing it. So like, yeah, so it's like football plus NASCAR.
Okay. So,
yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, I have to.
So, what I would love to see if we're putting armor in roller derby is how the fuck are they gonna get back up? Because they fall down a lot.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Some of those checks they take are vicious. And like I have trouble getting up in my armor now.
I mean,
skates. Do it on skates.
Yeah, I can't even picture that shit.
Tripping over bodies is a thing in our sport, so why not carry it?
Oh, it totally is, though. It totally is.
Oh, and I'd like to see just a line of like pole axes in with skates, just laying shots.
Can you imagine just tripping people up with a pole axe? You're like whack right to the ankle, and down they go.
Oh. That doesn't sound fun.
Oh, it'd just be like tripping with hockey.
Sounds entertaining to watch, though.
Yeah, no. If any of our female fighters want to take this up as a sport, I highly encourage you to do that and let me know so I can watch it.
Hey, I know Bam used to ref roller derby. So he's
all right. So we got a ref.
All right.
Why does it have to be all women?
Isn't it only a women's sport? Like I didn't think it.
Is there men's roller derby?
Yeah, I don't think there's. As far as I know, there is no men's roller derby. I remember being super upset about that.
Well,
but also
maybe I'll just borrow
bullshit.
Sloan's
Let's
helmet.
Just make our own then.
Well, I'm in for that.
Yeah, we're under helmets. No one knows. It's all
Equal
kosher.
Opportunity damage. Come on.
Yeah. All right. So another one. Speaking of mostly female, I don't know if they actually have a men's, but I don't think anyone fucking pays attention to it. It's volleyball.
Yes, they have a.
There's men's volleyball, you idiot.
Is there? I don't know.
They compete in the Olympics.
That's debatable. All right.
I live in Southern California. I will tell you verifiably there is men's volleyball. Absolutely.
I think that might have been a rerun of Top Gun. That was not the Olympics.
I was gonna say, have you not seen Top Gun? That's
unless the Air Force is now sporting the men's volleyball team, I'm not buying it.
So volleyball in armor definitely needs the weapons.
Oh God.
So then what
I can't
about
even
like
imagine
instead of a volleyball, it's like a medicine ball?
Medicine. Uh, uh, that sounds terrible and also amazing.
I think it could work.
Your armor after you fall down once and like get like the dirt in like the horse arenas is bad enough. I can imagine sand.
Oh, that's gonna
horrible.
That's gonna be in your kit forever. It's never getting out.
It's like you might as well just go dunk yourself in glitter.
Yeah, screw my kit. It's gonna be stuck in my ass forever. Getting all that kind of sweaty.
I did for one time we did a demo at a skate park, and there was a band playing, and we were just like fighting in between like the dudes doing their skating shit, and they let us borrow 2 of their skateboards, and we tried to do jousting on it. Medieval skateboard jousting. That's
fantastic.
Right. Well, now we know.
You start on the ramp, so you have to drop in armor.
See, and we should have been talking about this with Lance when he was on, but screw making more rules. I think we just make stupider rules with all this shit. Isn't this in the rules?
Lance would never put up a second of this.
I'm done with this tomfoolery.
Well, this is fun. I'll catch you guys. Yeah, but so actually thinking of the skateboarding. I don't know why, but I associate the two. But I was thinking motocross in armor will just turn into like I don't even know. Like it'd be like the jousting, but like on crack.
Is motocross is the armor gonna make that more or less dangerous? Like if you fall off a bike at like 30, 40 miles an hour in armor, that
yeah, but like you're gonna have a falchion while riding it too, so.
That's fucking it's a Mad Max shit right there. Like,
yeah, I'm about it.
Trying to chop each other's bikes apart. All right, I'm in.
Yeah, I'm in. So really, this podcast is morphed into which rich friends do we have that already has this equipment that we can borrow?
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
All right, so motocross turning into fast-paced jousting in.
You know what I don't want to see? Speaking of that, jet skis. I don't fuck any part.
No, that all I hear is rust.
All I hear is death. Like, I can't even close, let alone trying to fucking.
I still can't. Like me and my family went like those wave boards, and we were trying to do that. I can't do that shit. You gotta like throttle the turn. I nearly ate shit so many times. It's weird.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, but so we got motocross, roller derby. So one thing that I've always had, and I had this idea out of armor, because golf is boring as shit.
What the fuck?
So, you are correct.
So here's my idea to revamp golf.
In armor.
But then this is it out of armor. So in armor, it's just going to get more nuts. But instead of everyone has their own ball, you take turns, you get 4 golf players and 1 ball. So then you hit it the first time, and it's a race, a full contact race to where the ball lands. And whoever gets to the ball can play it.
So the last person to touch it before it goes in the hole, they're the one who gets the point?
No, only one person gets the point. It's whoever gets to the ball first.
Sounds good to me. It sounds entertaining. I'd watch the hell out of it.
It definitely sounds way better.
So now,
I mean, Brian and Jay both walk around with fucking their axes, like their different size axe and other weapons in golf bags. So, we're already almost there. Squires are basically caddies. So we're 2 steps away.
I mean, just turn like the
So
ball
close.
washing station into the axe washing station. You're good to go.
I'm in. All right. Yeah, I mean, an axe could work as a driver, as is. You know?
Especially if you're playing 4-man golf. That axe is going to be good. So far, I think volleyball might be my favorite one we're going to revamp.
No, I'm out on volleyball.
You know what? How about this? Instead, you won't stay fully armored, but the ball will just be metal.
Oh my God.
So,
No.
yeah. Oh, it'll be fun. You and me will just be in our bikinis, hitting a metal ball and just getting impaled.
I mean, I do like the you and me in our bikinis. I mean, I didn't know you owned a bikini, but
I mean, from what you described,
we could have a repeat of Havasu Mankinis. This could be good.
I feel like that is necessary. Repeat of Havasu Mankinis is definitely necessary. Regular beach volleyball trying to reenact Top Gun, I'm a fan.
Yes.
Maybe putting helmets on. Helmets, your body, and that's it. So you have limited vision, so you're going to run into each other.
Maybe gauntlets.
Maybe, yes. Gauntlets.
Gauntlets just punch the shit out of the ball.
but you're still showing off the rest of your bod.
Oh, yeah.
In mankinis.
Yes. The whole point of volleyball is to show off your body. Like, it's basically modeling the sport.
I mean, I didn't even know male volleyball was a thing, so I'm just assuming they wear the same female attire.
The top part and everything?
Yes.
Well, Ringo, you were the only one actually wearing a top part of a bikini.
Because it started not as a mankini contest. It started as a bikini thing because I made some crack to JoJo online that she said something about having a bikini, and I said, I look good in mine. What do you think, Sam? And Sam and I were both going to show up in bikinis to Havasu. And then that turned into a bunch of other people being in mankinis of some.
I was promised mankinis, and I was not disappointed.
You were not.
Mankini as far as the eye could see.
Yes.
I have photographic evidence. It's fantastic.
And maybe not so surprisingly, I don't think that was the first time I've seen Sam's mankini.
No.
Probably not.
It's not the first time I'd seen it either. It was the first time I'd seen Micah's and Sean's.
Yeah. Boy. So
yeah,
mankini volleyball. This is now a thing. We're gonna, Miranda's gonna have 2 registrations. Make sure you register.
Utah sounds like a great place.
No, but here's the thing: is this like happening at FitCon? Because that's our U.S. Nationals in the spring is no longer at Havasu; it's at FitCon.
Yeah.
So.
Well, is the male volleyball team gonna be at FitCon?
Maybe.
I feel like we should definitely do it at FitCon so we can show off what we think are good-looking bods, actual good-looking bods, and just feel disappointed and dejected about ourselves.
That's why I say we find there has to be a male volleyball team there, so we challenge them to a match.
Oh my God. The shit has.
Well, everyone has to be in mankinis or bikinis. They cannot be in just normal short shorts.
It has to have a kini on the end of it.
That is the mandatory team attire. So anything other, you can fucking walk.
Yeah, they're rejected.
All right. So something I'm curious if I think this could very much be a thing. Like, this may be the only serious contender to replace it, but I think football fully armored might actually be the way to go moving forward. You could pretty much keep the same rule set, and you probably have less concussions.
Game would move a hell of a lot slower, though.
Are weapons legal too?
I'll allow it.
There's like 2 people.
I'll allow it.
They'll have like 2 receivers with like no weapons so they can catch the ball, and everyone else is just fucking.
Just think about it. Like, instead of a free safety just like running shoulder first, you got a free safety with like a 2-hander just winding up for you to catch it.
Oh my god. You know what? I would watch more football. If that were the case, I would watch more than the Super Bowl.
There wouldn't be any more bullshit holding calls because there's nothing to hold on to. So the refs could finally pipe the fuck down and stop ruining every game.
You'd have to get rid of like the no roughing the passer and rules like that shit.
Oh yeah.
No more slides.
Roughing the kicker and roughing the passer. You're like, nope, all that counts.
Yep.
There's no kicker. There's just gonna be an axe throw from wherever you're at.
It's an axe. Yes. You have to stick it in the uprights, actually.
There's no uprights. There's just a huge target that you need to hit. I like it. So
have you heard of the Irish sport of hurling?
I'm intrigued.
So hurling is basically if you took field hocky and
I'll tell you what my sport of hurling is. But I don't think that's what you think it is.
I think I might have played it in college.
Yeah, that's we call that the puking rally, I think. I don't know, maybe. But yeah, hurling is it's basically rugby mixed with field hockey. So it's like full on checks and running, but like you have these big ass mallets that you have to hit a ball with. I feel like that would be a good candidate as well because you're already using weapons. You know, you just replace those mallets with fucking axes, and you're already playing full contact, and you're already hitting people in the head with the bats. So apparently on accident, but
it kind of just sounds like polo, but like without horses.
Yeah, I think that might be what it is. I'll bet they didn't. I'm gonna come up with my complete bullshit take on how hurling got invented. Brits didn't allow the Irish to have horses, and so boom, that's what they did. They just redefined the game without horses.
Well, I don't think that's drunk history. That's just straight up history. Is anyone thinking of any good sports that completely suck and they could use a good revamp? Off the top of their head?
Yeah, you nailed it with golf. I'm like, that one just blows.
Yeah.
Ooh, hockey on ice. Yeah. I mean, hockey is not a sport that sucks. It's already pretty violent.
Yeah, hockey's
armor
amazing.
On ice skates. That could be fun.
I think it would just make it safer.
I don't know, man. Going like 20 miles an hour, 2 dudes going 20 miles an hour hitting each other. That's
I forgot what there's this old football coach in college that used to, like, a bunch of his athletes would come up to him and be like, "Hey coach, I want to play hockey, during the off season to keep in shape." He's like, "You're not playing that barbaric sport." He's like, "Why not?" He's like, "You're running around with clubs in your hands and blades on your feet. You're gonna die." You're right.
Yeah, hockey's
not wrong.
It's probably the toughest sport out there. I mean, honestly, they're probably tougher than us.
Oh yeah.
Like their fucking hits they deal with. It's just like the dudes who fucking throw themselves in the way of the puck unintentionally. That thing's going 9 miles an hour. Like, that's gotta hurt just as much as an axe. Only you have a little bit of padding.
That move makes absolutely no sense to me, and like, you gotta have balls of steel for that. I'm just looking at that like, fuck my dentist.
Yo, speaking of at the fucking the match this weekend, I was fighting with Gary, and I bring him across the list, and his helm apparently pops off as I'm trying to slam his head into the fucking rim. So like, it apparently, like, it was like a half second. So right after like he hit, it pops off. But like, I just remember slamming it and then looking down as he's collapsing to the ground, holding his face. and then he's trying to protect himself. And I'm just like, holy fuck! I just fucking took this dude's head, this bare skull, off this metal rail as hard as I could.
Oh,
well,
God.
I just killed Gary.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So one last suggestion. This one's kind of simple. Honestly, they could probably still do it. No one will really care because it's interest in the sport's waning anyway. But baseball.
Baseball and armor.
But once you hit the ball, you keep the bat. It's one of the only rule changes I'm going to make. It's full contact. Once you hit the ball, you keep the bat and you run the bases.
So
I'd say I'd change the bat to an axe, and then you swing for the ball with an axe and keep it and run.
It just slices in two.
Well, you could hit it with the flat of the axe.
Okay.
Yeah. That spanker thing that a couple of people have. This it's got like an axe handle, and then like it looks like a paddle.
Like
Jay's
a cricket thing?
No, it's like it's a fucking weapon. It's like, I think it's called, I don't know. I'm going to make up a word. Fouchard? It's.
Oh, yeah, the Fouchard. Yeah.
It's got an axe handle, but then it's got like a blade on the end, and the blade is like a foot wide and like 3 feet long.
Oh, shit.
But like, it's not like a falchion. Like, it looks like a fucking, like a paddle you take to fucking like fucking Dazed and Confused type shit.
Yeah. I'll have to look that one up. I don't know that one.
Jay has one, and he takes it out. There's a couple others floating around.
Why am I not surprised Jay has one? All right. Well, I hope the NFL, the MLB, all of them are taking notes because looks like, or ESPN take notes. We just revamped your whole fucking channel, so you're welcome. But like we said, Western Conference coming up. Any other events you want to plug real quick before we take it home here, Miranda?
Yeah, we've got the duels national competition January 5th in Houston. We'll have Battle of the Roses in Sacramento in February. And then everybody's gearing up for FitCon in April.
Do we have a date on Battle of the Roses?
I believe it is February 16th. 1 second, let me look at calendar, confirm that date. Hold, please. Yes, it is Saturday, February 16th.
All right, I may need to go make some changes. Might be trying to make that.
Yeah,
that would be awesome. It's a great event. The venue is fantastic. The people that run the venue are great. Placer County Fairgrounds. Great amenities. We've got food trucks, and last time we had a beer cart and a food truck.
And where's that? Is that LA or where's that at?
Sacramento.
Okay.
NorCal.
Okay.
Yeah, I just went up there for the Feast of Steel. We had the regional Grizzlies event. But Battle of the Roses I think this will be the third annual. And we've just had phenomenal turnout. News people come out. It's a good show. It's a fun time.
Yeah, so anyone paying attention, got some travel days lined up, and you just need to fight a little more. Highly recommend it. And
also,
what's that?
We got a match December 15th.
Yes, we do.
Don't forget about that.
Oh, baby, don't you worry. I'm not forgetting about that.
3-way chapter match at the Moose Lodge in Philly. That's not Philly. I don't know what fucking town we can fight in.
Yep, in the armpit we call Jersey. Yeah, it's good. That one's gonna be a great one. What's it? We got the Monarchs coming down. We got New York coming down, and we got the home team Philly Rhinos and actual Philly Rhinos. We're actually gonna field the team instead of having half the Eagles join in.
I mean, that was a good day though.
That might have been one of my favorite. That might have been one of the drunkest after parties I've ever been a part of.
You were something else. You were something else.
You know, actually, that's allegedly. There was no film there, so I don't know if that happened.
Oh, that happened. That definitely happened.
I just remember at some point in the night, someone told me that I put Durante through the fireplace and he cut his foot open, so he tried to choke me. And then we spent the rest of the night trying to figure out how to get We Own a Rider. I don't know why we mispronounced it, but We Own a Rider nip slips on Google. So if anyone has hesitations to come into East Coast event, I can promise you it's going to be a good time.
They get wild. They get wild. Come on out.
Oh, Lord of mercy.
Moose Lodge on the 15th. Everyone make sure to come out. I think you also got you're doing the New Year's Rumble, right? This year?
Rookie Rumble. New Year's Bash. Right?
Yeah.
Rookie
and
Rumble.
the Rookie Rumble, another great event.
I don't know when that is. I should know, but I don't. But yeah, New Year's Bash, December 29th. Probably announcing our lineup for that right after Western Conference. Put that out. We got I think 10 fights lined up. They look pretty baller. Some big fucking lines. So if you can make it to Nashua, fucking definitely show up. We'll have a live stream. It's gonna be dope.
All right. And that wraps it up for this episode of the List Report. I want to thank everyone for tuning in, but more importantly, I want to thank both of my lovely co-hosts before I make my mouth break. Thank you guys again for joining. Stay tuned to the channel. We're going to be playing around with some possible breakdowns of some film that gets sent in. We're going to be messing around with some content that we're going to be putting out. And, of course, we want to make this interactive, so if you have any suggestions of what you want to see, if you want us to talk about, maybe even do a little fighter profile on a local fighter, please let us know. And this will end it for this episode. Thank you for tuning in.
See you next week.
Peace.